The purpose of this video is to discuss palettes in AutoCAD. At this point in the lessons, we are learning about the Layers Property Manager, which is where we can go to create new layers. And that button can be found here in the Layers section. When I click this button, initially you may be faced with something like this. It could look a little different, but I want to talk about palettes just a little bit. A palette is also known as a modeless dialog box. So what that means is it's a dialog box that you can actually click behind. Most dialog boxes you can't click behind. For example, the open dialog, if I try to click behind it, it gives me a little ding and tells me that I can't do that. I have to cancel this box first. Well, a modeless dialog box or palette will actually allow you to click back in your screen. You can still do whatever you want. You can draw, you can edit, whatever it is that you might want to do, but it allows you to actually go ahead and make some changes in the dialog box whenever you want to. With the modeless dialog box or palette, you can click and drag on its little title bar, and you'll notice when you get to one of the edges, it will actually try to dock it on one side or the other. So I'll just dock it over here on the side. A little harder to work with in this case, so if I don't want it docked, then I can just click and drag its title bar back out into space, and there's my tool palette again. So I can make any changes I want inside the dialog box. I can stretch it out, and again, I can use it in addition to some of the objects out on my screen. So if I wanted to select an object and make some changes in here, depending on what the palette is, I can do so. Some of the other things on the palettes, you can auto hide them. So they have these little arrow buttons here where if you click, it will auto hide it down to just a little bar. Makes it easier to clean up your screen. You're working along. Then if you want to see some layers, you can hold your mouse over the bar. It comes back, move away, it goes away. So it's a quick way to access those when you're ready. You can also dock those and then press the minimize button. And it actually will create a button on the side of your screen that you can hold your mouse over and again get your tools that you're looking for. There are a few different palettes. We'll get into more of them as the semester goes on, but just to show you a few, on the View tab I can turn on Tool Palettes, which we'll use when we're dealing with blocks. I can use Properties. We'll look at that when we're gaining information from our drawings. I might use Design Center to bring in some more blocks, so we'll look at that this semester as well. There's a few more palettes that we won't get into in this class, so I'll just stick with those. But one of the neat things that you can do is you can actually dock each one of these and then minimize them. So I'll continue docking here. And then for each one I can minimize them with their little dash. And eventually I wind up with a button for each one. So that way I don't have to turn these on and off. I can leave them stacked over there, and then whenever I'm ready to use one of these, such as the Layer Properties Manager, all I've got to do is hold my mouse over it and I can use it. Another neat thing that you can do with palettes is you can actually make them transparent so you can see what's behind them. And this is done just by making them a floating palette first of all, and then just right click on the title bar and choose transparency. And then I'll adjust these values maybe down to, I don't know, I'll try 70% or so. That way they're still usable, but I can see through them as well. And now you'll see that as I bring this back up, now I can actually edit the layers, but you can also see the geometry in the background. Of course, if you don't like that, you can just simply right-click, go back to transparency, and set these back to 100%. And that feature is gone.